Hey, what's up, guys? Leaflit here. I just woke up and I had the displeasure of looking at X. I don't know why I do that. I looked at X first thing when I woke up. And what did I see? What did I see, Chad? I see people bringing up the fucking man in the woods thing and the bear in the woods thing again. And we have this post here over here by so I saw it from another person who was complaining about another person who's complaining about Bao. Okay, that's how I saw it. Okay, and in the post it says that and like 100 people, 100 plus people like this post, as well as Bao, and it says that men are crying about this. Men that are crying about this. So a little bit of context. There was a whole thing about how if you're a female content creator, like a smaller female content creator, and then a larger male content creator gets in contact with you, that you should run away, basically. Now, the funny thing is, I don't really think she's wrong. But this isn't really like a man thing. I think this is like a content creator thing in general. But I guess specifically if like the larger content creator is like male, then there might be some weird dynamics there where they could be wanting. So because here's the thing, a lot of the time these like interactions in the content creation sphere is usually about wants. It's usually about what a person wants, and I feel the same way too when anybody contacts me. Like, what do you want from me, right? And I know it's not really that healthy, but I think it's fair in the content creation sphere, right? So I don't necessarily agree. I don't necessarily disagree with that part of if you have a larger male content creator reaching out to you, that you should be careful, obviously, right? But I feel the same thing about like a female content creator. I think usually it's actually kind of the opposite, where like if you're a large male content creator and then you have a smaller female content creator, like kind of, you know, being a little overly friendly. I mean, it is something to be wary about. And I'm not saying that you should never be friends with people, because you might meet good people that way, but you should be, have a little bit of caution, basically. And this applies to like basically everybody, right? So people tried to make this into a whole Bao hates men thing, and I don't know. I don't know how she feels about it. I've heard that she said things before, but I don't really know. I don't really, you know me, guys. I don't really keep track of like drama and stuff like that. I'm not really that interested. However, this one thing does interest me, and it says men that are crying about this being the whole run away from large male content creators if you're a female content creator, are the same men that cry about saying we'd choose the bear. Okay, now this one I have a problem with. I have a big problem with this. And I'm just going to break this down like once and for all. I'm just so fucking tired of this. I am going to be very autistic about this, okay, guys? So let me tell you about the odds of you getting into a negative encounter with a man and a bear, okay? And there's various reasons for a bear to attack you. One being that the main reasons are it's for defensive purposes. They're protecting resources. They're protecting their cubs. And then there's also the cases of them being surprised. So then they have a kind of defensive attack out of surprise. And the last case is actually where they want to eat you. They actually want to eat you, and that's actually a percent chance as well. It's not as high in black bears, but when you move to like grizzlies and even polar bears, it gets kind of crazy. So like polar bears are like the odds of an attack per encounters. Like if you actually like saw the bear and the bear saw you and you were like kind of in range of each other, I mean the odds of getting attacked by like a black bear are like really low. Actually, it's about like being generous here, like in favor of them actually attacking you. You're talking like a 0.01% chance, because they're kind of pussies. American black bears are kind of huge pussies, right? So they're not really gonna want to do anything unless they're really really hungry, or they feel cornered and they have to protect their cubs. This is like the main thing. Now once you move to like brown bears though, you're talking like up to a 2% chance, really. Obviously the stats here are kind of and these are bearvault.com if you want to look for a lot of the stats here. Bearvault.com talks about a lot of like bear safety and stuff like that. You could have up to a 2% chance. That's like on the high end, really. Grizzly bears don't really attack people for prey reasons. Typically, the odds of that are really low. But they will react incredibly aggressively if they're threatened, compared to brown bears, or again are just huge pussies. Now, if you really want to get fucked up, polar bears. Polar bears are super fucked up. Like those ones will actually try to eat people. They get really hangry up in up north, and they will actually try to eat people, like straight up. And yeah, starving males like are almost all the attacks of polar bears. Then you're talking like a 1 to 5%. Like if you like came face to face with a polar bear, it's has a pretty high chance of attacking you compared to other ones, more than double. More than double, and like thousands of times higher than a black bear. Now, luckily, unless you're, I don't even know, are there even? Well, the ones you really have to worry about are the blue bears. So there's like this is a whole nother topic. So I'm not gonna go into like that deep, but there's these hybrid blue bears that are the cross between a polar bear and a grizzly bear. Now those ones are super fucked up, but they're kind of rare. So we're just gonna not even talk about them. But those are like the gigamaxed on the aggro scale. So you don't wanna see those. But we'll just ignore that for now. Now let's talk about if you did have a random encounter with a man, right? So if you were to account for like all of the bears, you're talking let's see, if you were to have a random man, and this is like kind of counting for hikers, right? Because that's kind of when you're going to encounter a random man. So on the low end, you're 100 times more likely to get attacked by a random bear in the woods. 100 times more likely. That's being generous, right? Up to 2,000% more likely to be attacked by the bear. So it's like your odds are already not good. Just like strictly like aggro. Like we're talking like the like initial aggro, right? Bears are far more aggro than people. So there you go, right? Now, you might say, well, but Leaflit, if I get attacked by a bear, at least it's not a guy. At least the guy is not coming at me. Well, let me explain to you what it looks like there, okay? Let's talk weapons and bears, okay? So let's talk about the comparison really first between men and women. Let's compare that first, okay? So if you have a man versus a woman, okay? So if you had a male aggressor attacking a female aggressor, and this is unarmed. This is like, and I'm being real, a lot of women out there, you guys are unarmed. Okay? You shouldn't be, but you are. So we're gonna use that, okay? Let's talk about self-defense stats between men and women, okay? The average adult male versus female strength gap, you're talking 50 to 60% increased upper body strength, 30% and 30% lower body strength. The unarmed so if you took Department of Justice victim studies, you're talking the ability to escape from as a female with a man attacking you unarmed is like 25 to 40% if like he actually wants you fucking dead, right? And let's say, well, what if I encounter the man in the woods? I'm gonna have like a gap, right? There's gonna be like some, okay, well, let's assume that there's a 30 feet gap between you and the man. As a woman, you're still gonna get outrun by 90 to 85% of men. They're gonna outrun you just straight up, just based on biology, right? So, we'll use this as a control, right? So we've got men. If we were to say a man has 100 HP, a woman has like 70 HP, okay? If we're going to say a man has 5 power, woman has 2 power. Agility, if you say a man has 5 agility, and here's where people be like, but women are so fast and agile. No, women would have like 4 agility. So like that actually has the least gap, but it's still it's still a gap. That's still like 20%, right? And then if you're talking about like toughness stat, if men had 5 toughness, then women would have 3. Right. So if you were to get into an unarmed encounter against a man, the man, this is a 30-foot gap, right? So the man is going to close that gap in about 2 seconds, right? And in a lot of cases, the man's going to attack first. It's just like speaks strictly on speed and aggression. We'll give first strike to the man, right? It's 80% chance of first strike there, right? A man could knock out a woman in 1 to 3 hits, like physical attacks. This is assuming like an untrained individual, right? And girls, let's not pretend that you're like you're fucking Lucy Liu or something, or let's not pretend that you're like fucking Vidal or something, okay? A man is gonna KO you in like 1 to 3 hits. All right, it would take you 8 to 12 hits, 8 to 12 hits to KO a man. And like speaking strictly ground control, men win that too. Like in terms of like grappling, like there's like once the man is like on top of you, it's basically over. Again, unarmed. Right? Again, this is like the average, like untrained between the two. And again, I don't want to hear shit about. Well, I know kung fu or whatever. Listen, you're not fucking. This isn't the Matrix, okay? Now let's talk about bears. Okay, let's talk about now. Here's the interesting thing. Actually, if you had a gun in this situation, it would actually almost equalize it. If the woman has a gun, she wins basically. Like as long as like you're relatively trained. I don't mean like super trained, but like you're trained enough to hit like a torso target, which is not that crazy, to be honest. That's kind of easy. That's kind of light work, to be honest. To hit to land it on paper, that's light work, right? Now, if the woman has a gun, she almost always will win that fight. Assuming that like he doesn't have the jump on you, you actually know how to draw your weapon properly, and like you actually were able to fire it on the person. You're gonna win almost all the time with relatively like basic training. Now, if the man has a gun, it's relatively even, right? So again, you're talking like a scenario of the man just outclassing the woman, like in terms of raw stats, versus it being turned into like a pure dex battle in which now you're turning into a focus battle, which are actually kind of nearly equal. Men still have a little bit of an edge there. I'd say I have no proof of that one. Like that one, I didn't look that up, but I think probably like mental, the man probably does have a slight advantage, but it's like not as crazy. Like we're not talking like total domination here. Like this is like winnable. It's a winnable scenario, overcomeable through training, through minimal training, by the way. Like having a better draw is gonna matter. Like having better shots on, kind of center mass shots is gonna matter more. Shot placement, being able to like land the first hit, so you could get some fibs going in there. Like that's kind of you can train out of that, right? And again, like I said, that's like basically even almost, right? Like if you had a gun and he had a gun, it's pretty even, right? Now let's talk about grizzly bear stats, okay? If you were to compare the stats of a grizzly bear, okay? Like what's the human baseline for a man? 180 pounds? Now, a grizzly bear, we're taking the average bear, right? That's like in between the brown bear and the in between the brown bear and the polar bear. The grizzly bear has 4 to 6 times the weight, the mass of a man. You're talking like 800 pounds, grizzly bear on average. So if you were to compare like their mass and muscle structures, they have like 500 HP. So you have like 100 HP on the man, and you get 500 on the bear. You're talking about power, right? 5 to 20x bite force, 1,200 PSIs of bite force, with 80 to 1,000 pounds of swipe force. of like raw power of like the bear's fucking hand hitting you in the fucking face. 80 to 1,000 pounds of force. They have like 80 power compared to like if a man had 5 power, a grizzly bear would have 80. Let's talk agility. Here it's a little bit even. Humans are actually kind of fast. It's kind of crazy. In short distances. So you have you have it's still not that fast. No, not that fast, but you know, not that tanky. You got if the man has 5 agility, the bear has like a 1.x time multiplier on their speed, so they can sprint 30 to 40 feet per second, versus a human which is like 15. And again, like it's still not that bad. Like that's not like 100. That's not like 5 times the muscle mass, right? Like in comparison, so it's like not as bad with agility, but still, grizzly bear is gonna like outclass the human, like maybe 8 agility, right? Now you have the toughness, right? Toughness here. Grizzly bears have thick hide. They have a big layer of fat and just a lot of bone density compared to humans. So you're talking like 8 to 10x more tough than the humans, like 45, okay? Now, if you were to compare these stats, right? And like let's be like super let's be super generous here, right? 9mm. Let's say you actually landed the shots and you're using what are you using here? See what I have in the simulation here. You're using hollow points. This is hollow point bullets, okay? We're not gonna get like super specific into the type of ammo. Like obviously the type of ammo really matters, but most people it's gonna kind of go over their head. So let's not even get into that. So 9mm against a man. If you land like a center mass shot against a man, one shot, and this is according to like FBI statistics, like Alaska statistics and stuff, you're talking like a 55% chance to like one shot a man, basically. Like not kill, but incapacitate, like one shot them, right? You get a 55% chance from a single shot landed center mass, right? That's assuming that you hit, of course, right? Now with a grizzly bear, you have to hit them basically in the face, in the brain. And that's going to be like less than 10%. Like this is assuming that you crit them, right? Now if you're talking like strictly 9mm, and like let's be real, I'm being very generous by saying by saying that you have a 9mm as a woman in the woods, because I know most women don't carry. Most don't. So this isn't even typically in the equation. But if we were to say that you did have a 9mm, you're talking 2 to 3 shots to stop a man on average. Those are well-placed center mass shots versus 4 to 12 on a bear. So even in the worst case scenario, it's multiple shots. And again, that's assuming the charge time, right? Like a human versus a bear, like, you know, acceleration, top speed, we're being very generous here by saying there's 30 feet, right? The human, the bear is still gonna get to you first before the human, right? Even with the small gap and like the accounting for the acceleration of the bear. So you're talking 4 to 12 shots on average to actually like kill a bear, right? Which is, I mean, if you're in California, damn, 10 shots, oops, not enough, but, you know, it's not great. Now, if we were to talk about unarmed, now this is where it gets really fucking crazy, chat. This is where it gets really crazy. If you want to talk unarmed, if you were to compare, like, the stats of a human female average, unarmed against a grizzly bear, you're talking a difference of 430 HP, 78 power, 4 agility, and 42 toughness in comparison to the bear. Now, the bear is going to close in on you in like 1.2 seconds. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about the man first, okay? So if the man were to attack you, the man has like maybe like 100 HP to 70 of a woman. The man is going to have like 3 more power on the woman, 1 more agility, 2 more toughness, okay? The man's going to close in on you in like 2 seconds, right? And let's say that the man does get a first strike. It's going to take him 1 to 3 like solid hits, like melee attacks to fucking incapacitate you, right? Whereas the woman, you could land like 8, it's going to take you like 8 to 12 hits to incapacitate a man, right? I mean, it's doable. Like it is doable. Like it's not good. The odds aren't good, but if you had some training, like maybe it's doable. Maybe like this is completely unarmed, by the way. Not even accounting for a ambush factor, right? Which, to be honest, if a man is gonna prey on people, they're more likely gonna ambush you rather than just walk up to you straight. They're not like JoJo's walk up to you. They're gonna sneak up on you, right? Typically, bears don't really do that unless they're trying to eat you. Which is again, we've already talked about the odds of that. As long as you're not dealing with grizzly bears, it's not like too bad. I mean, sorry, grizzly bears. Polar bears, it's not too bad. Okay, so again, man will take 1 to 3 hits, 1 to 3 hits to like subdue the woman, like good solid hits. I'll take the woman like 8 to 12, basically. 8 to 12 solid hits to like kind of take them out. Now, you want to know what that looks like with a bear? 99% chance the bear gets the first hit and just insta kills you. The bear versus woman does not look good. It is like the bear gets on the woman and it's over. Now, you want to talk like physical melee damage of a woman against a bear? It estimates that it would take like 1,000 hits. And this is accounting for unarmed survival rate. The unarmed survival rate, this is real world, and this is men and women, is less than 1% against a bear. And this is from Bear Attacks 2002 by Herrero. Average charge speed, like 30 feet, and a human punch kick force is 100 to 300 pounds of force. It can crush a bear can crush your skull in 1 bite. A unarmed human female against a grizzly bear in a unarmed battle is 99.9% fatal. And your only chances are to play dead or have some extreme luck. And I mean, you're just kind of rolling the dice there of like how hungry the bear is that day. What did the bear have to eat? Did the bear, how would the bear feel if it didn't have breakfast this morning? If you will. But anyway, again, just talking strictly encounter, like a one-on-one encounter of a man versus a woman, the odds of the bear being aggressive, higher. The odds of the bear outclassing you, both in a physical altercation, both with a gun and without, the bear is more dangerous by far. And this doesn't even mention the fact that all of these statistics, they don't control for the fact that you don't really encounter bears, right? You don't really see bears in the wild very often. Like, I've only seen them a couple times, right? And you see men all the time. You see men all the time. It's like the idea that like the bear is statistically more safe is just retarded. And I gotta put that to rest. Like, this is, listen, women, if you want to fuck bears, then just say it. Just be honest with yourself. Just be honest with yourself. You're a bear fucker. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. But let's not pretend that if you met a bear, that if you were in the woods, the irony is if you were in the woods and you were a solo female that saw a bear in the woods, the thing that you would wish that you saw was a man in the woods. That's the irony. because the man is your highest chance. If you see a man in the woods and the bear at the same time, your highest chance of survival is that the man is going to save you from the bear. To be honest. And the thing is the man, in that case where you have a man and a woman and a bear together in the woods, the man doesn't have to outrun the bear. He just has to outrun you. So it's just not good. It's not good in all ways, guys. It's just odds aren't good. And thank you for joining me on this retarded trip. Cause I had to say it. All right. Peace.